Okay, so in this video, let's talk about why you decided to become an entrepreneur, right? So when I interviewed hundreds of entrepreneurs and asked them, why did they want to become an entrepreneur, the recurring theme was they wanted freedom. So they wanted freedom away from, the employer. They wanted freedom to control their own schedule. They wanted freedom to be with their families. So ultimately, what they wanted to do was create a certain lifestyle, right? And also, too, in creating that lifestyle with that freedom, the next thing they mentioned was they wanted to become wealthy. Well, how do we define wealth? Well, if you've ever been to any of my presentations, you'll see me ask individuals, okay, how do you define wealth? And we'll take some time to give you a moment to think about it. So, how do you define wealth? Well, I learned years ago the best way to define it or to measure wealth is not by a dollar amount. It's not about how much money you have in your 401k. It's not about how much money you have set aside in your savings account. It's not how much equity you have in your home, right? You measure wealth by time. And what I mean by that is this. Robert Kiyosaki's in this cash flow quadrant that kind of define wealth and measure wealth this way. If you were to stop doing what you're currently doing today to generate income, so whether you're self-employed, entrepreneur, work for somebody else, how long would you be able to maintain your current quality of life if you were to stop receiving a paycheck today? So if you were to stop trading your time for dollars today, how long would you be able to maintain your quality of life, right? So is that you'll be able to maintain your quality of life for another year, for another month? I've heard some people even say, man, Perry, I have about 24 hours. I'm waiting for my direct deposit to hit right now. So don't feel ashamed if you're that person and you're living paycheck to paycheck, because the majority of Americans are. But with the idea of entrepreneurship, if the goal is to, one, become financially free and have time freedom, but also, two, to generate wealth so that you don't always have to show up, then we need to make sure we get some concepts down. So I'm going to show you this quick tutorial here. So the cash flow quadrant. You have the E quadrant, the S quadrant, the I quadrant, and the B quadrant. So the E quadrant is the employee. Now, there's nothing wrong with being an employee. Matter of fact, as an entrepreneur, you're looking to actually be able to hire phenomenal employees. But as an employee, typically you're trading your time for dollars. Okay? So if you don't show up, you don't make any money. Well, you have then next, people transition then into the S quadrant, which is being self-employed. So you no longer have to answer to a boss. But guess what? You now own that job. So now this could be your attorneys, you could be your doctors, your freelancers, individuals of that nature, where they own, their name is on the building. But if they don't show up, they don't get paid as well. So now they actually own the job. So you're still in a scenario where you're still trading some time for dollars. Just the benefit of it is that it's your time and you manage that. So you start to have some financial freedom in that sense. Well then, next place, business owner. So what's the difference between being a business owner and being self-employed? Well, as a business, you own the systems and the business, if you will. So what that means is that you can eventually walk away from what you're currently doing, right? Away and not have to show up day in and day out, and that generating really start to get true freedom. So over here, you're getting freedom from, answering to somebody else. Come down here, you still kind of tied to that job. You still have to show up. And over here is where you start to get freedom, where now that business is generating income with or without you. And then you have the I quadrant. And this is so phenomenal in here. And this is where sometimes entrepreneurs can't even think that far in front. But again, we believe in always starting with the end in mind. So ultimately, you want to be able to generate revenue and have surplus so that you can now start to buy investments. So whether that's your retirement plan as your 401k, whether that's dividend paying stocks, whether that's annuities, whether that's a rental property, whatever the case may be, you now want to be able to start putting monies away so that now you have a passive residual income coming in. Now you have true freedom, and now you can create true wealth. Because again, we said wealth is measured in time. What you're currently doing, if you stop doing what you're currently doing today, and there were no, and when you did that, there were no revenue coming in, well then that means you're on this side of the quadrant someplace. And ultimately our goal is to get there. So I want to share this concept with you so that you're crystal clear on the direction of that we're going to go with this course. Okay, so our goal is to get you onto the right-hand side of the quadrant. All right, see you in the next video.